Good morning, everyone. Very sorry I accidentally stirred my coffee before you guys got here, so oopsies. That was an accident. It is what it is. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Franco, if you're still awake. Good morning, ITT. How's everyone doing? It is hot as balls here in Canada. So right now outside, it is, first of all, it's 8 a.m. and it is 21 degrees Celsius, feels like 24 degrees Celsius. So it is very hot outside, very humid. It's overcast. It's going to storm today. Good morning, Gerald. And down here in my workshop in the basement, it is 20 degrees Celsius and 63% humidity. So needless to say, it's hot. It's hot. So I'm in, usually I'm wearing a sweater. Today, you can see my arms. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm also wearing like gym shorts. So usually I have like some sort of fleece pant and sweater. And today I am wearing shorts and a t-shirt. A workout shirt too, like one of these dry fit ones. Because, yeah, it's hot and I want to be cooled down. So hopefully everyone is doing well this morning. So the plan is we're going to organize this mess a little bit. We are going to reprogram the Arduino or the RP2040 to reverse the logic. And then we're going to film the working project. And then we're going to build the protoboard version, and then we're going to mount it in here. We might 3D print something to put it in there, like some sort of wedge. I'm looking at those, like these relay holes. I'm thinking we might run screws into them or something like that, just to hold everything down. Or I'll put a good piece of double-sided tape and stick that down, something like that. But we do have a working prototype here. It does work, just need to change the coding a little bit. And the other thing is that we've got wire number 3 connected to power. So we might just tap into wire number 1 here and put 1 and 3 together on the input. So put those two together, and then we can use wire number 3 to go off, you know, to the unit. We can tap in the other side of number 3 to send the signal. So we could do that as well. And then I'll probably spend some time building some documentation over this because, you know, I may not always be the one to fix this. And even if I am the one who fixed this, wait, why is this? Oh, 4 is my signal. Is it? What is 4? Oh, okay, you need to, yeah, I need to tap the 4 inside here. Okay, so there's a couple things I'll have to do. Because 4 is... Yeah, so 26, I think it was 26. Yeah, 26 is up. So 26 up, 27 down, and then 15 is the out, and 15 out goes to where does it go? Oh, it just goes. Yeah, okay. 15 out, and then, okay. Then what do we have here? So up is 6. Down is 7. It's down there. Okay, we need to hook up the COM, so 3 to positive, which is 1. 3 equals 1. And then main is 4, which hooks on to and then 4 goes on the MOSFET. I think I got this. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge to set up properly, but we can do it. We can do it. Put your ass into it. Okay, so let's get Claude to fix the logic. So let's do that. Let me open this screen. And don't forget, all this is done on the legit, on the free tier. Due to how I needed to set up the output stage, now the output is reversed, so 100% on in the code now gives me 100% off. Can you reverse the logic in the code so that it works the way it should? Everything else worked perfectly. While you're at it, can you aggressively comment the code, please? There we go. 16 feels like 15 where you're at. Okay, a little bit chillier. The high today, I don't know what the feels like is going to be, but the high is going to be hot. It's going to be 29, I think. Let me just check to see. I just want to check something real quick. Just looking at where I have a interview set up. I just want to see. Okay. So I have a It's a phone interview coming up on Friday. And I was just seeing if the person I was talking to had a profile on the website before I forgot. Duty from percent, so it's easy to find, easy to undo. Okay, but did it? I'm confused. Whatever, download this. Let's see if it worked. Downloads. PWM controller 3. It'll say it needs to be in a folder. And I'll say fine. Sure, let's install all the libraries. You buzz off. PWM frequency, yeah. GP26, increase power, decrease power. That's good. That's good. In steps, yeah. This is an array. Normal duty. I guess I'm not understanding why. Anyways, we'll check to see if it works. It's not a big deal. I think we're good. Okay, let's install the board updates. And then we can set this up for receiving the code. Oh, look at that, my USB reaches. Where's boot? I think that's all good. Just letting it update the boards. Doing ESP updates. So, yeah. That's the deal, my dear. Oh, I also applied to another job, two jobs. One is as a calibration technician, so calibrating test gear. That would be really cool to learn. And the other one is as a e-learning content creator. Essentially, it's a company that sells online classes, I guess, and they want a content creator to make the classes. So I figured I was a shoo-in because of my experience with as being a professor. But I have learned not to take anything too seriously until it actually happens. So it is what it is. I guess I'm just waiting for Arduino to update all its stuff now. So you guys tell me what's going on in your lives. Let me put up a poll as well. How's everyone doing since yesterday? Start a poll. There we go. Answer the poll, folks. So, yeah. Gonna be shitty weather today. Here. Oh, look, Arduino's done. Let's get this going. So just need to do the wave share. 2040. And upload this shit. And then we'll see if it works, and then we will get it all set up. We will film a piece to camera. Continued working on removing the concrete slab. Oh, compilation error. Cannot open temporary file. File exists. Cannot open temporary file. File exists. Do I have to reset the IDE once I updated the boards? Who frickin' knows? Compiling. It is surprising how slow it is to compile Arduino code. Like, I know there's a lot of steps going on inside there, but still. All right, we're done. Okay, so let's set ourselves up. We need to turn on the Unity power supply. So why are you removing a concrete slab, ITT? Is it like something in your garden, or what's going on there? All right, let's turn on. Should be all set up still. So now everything is turned on. So this should be at 0. It is indeed at 0. Let's go start. Should stay at 0. It is indeed still at 0. And now let's go up. So there's 1.8 volts. 4.2 volts. Oh, here, so you can see. 6.63 volts. 9 volts. 12 volts. And it stays there. Just my finger not in the, if I just go range here. So there we go, 12 volts. Then down. There we go. Let's change the range, 60 volts. All right, so that works. We can, and then we can turn this off. It should go to 0. And stays at 0. Okay, good. And we'll turn off the power. And then this should shut off. Oh my God, I had this connected to the USB. That's not good. Good morning. How's it going, Lock Watcher? Because you have 4 water tanks to place there. Water tanks? What are you up to? Are you gardening? Or is this like drinking water tanks? Want to hear your projects. I don't know if I have any more crock clips. I would like another crock clip. Let's clean up this bench top a little bit so that I can film a video. But essentially, we're at the point now where we're ready to put it in the prototype box. It all works. But how are you, Lock Watcher? The Watcher. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Where are my millennials at? All right, this can go back into the connector box. This can go back into here. Actually, we're probably going to need this again soon, so it won't go too far. Because we're going to need to crimp stuff to put it back, to like install it in here. So we're not done yet. The iWis crimper is back over there. These cutters can go up here. This heat shrink shouldn't go far. We don't need these resistors anymore. No, they're rain storage water used for drinking water. Later I have to consider it. Like you have to like filter it. The Watcher. How old is everyone in chat? I don't remember all your ages. I know Gerald is slightly older than me. Because I am 38. So officially old. When I turn 40, I'll be very old. You guys can be not old in 40, but I will be old in 40. '62, yeah, you're slightly older than me. Not much older. I see 62 is right around the corner for me. It's not all that far off. I got myself a young ass wife though. So I'm 38. But my wife is she's like a child almost. She's 37. Did you know that when I was born, my wife was infinity younger than me. Creepy, huh? I mean, me and movie stars, we've got that in common. All right, let me... I had to take out my garbage yesterday. So my garbage bag was full, so I need to make a new garbage bag. And if I don't, then I'll just put stuff to the side and then I'll have to pick it up after. So I'm gonna do that now. Set up my garbage bag. There we go. I can put little bits of crap all over it. Rainwater needs to be filtered and UV star. Yeah, I just didn't know you drank it. Lockwatcher is a bit older, apparently. Okay, so let's see what the camera sees. Zoom out, way out. Okay, can barely get this all in. All right, let's do mics. Give me the microphone first so I can burst like a bubble. For now, it's only for gardening. Okay, fair enough. Guess I'll use the little magnet on the back of my microphone. Okay, so let's do this now. So I've got the whole thing prototyped here. It's on a breadboard and it's going to be powered by our little power supply here. So everything's in place the way it should be once installed, except for, you know, these components are just a little bit wild. So let's turn this on and see how it works. So turning on the 12-volt power supply using the Unity UDP3305S, and there we go, everything is powered up. Now, one small concern is it is drawing almost 100 milliamps. So that's quite a bit. It's going to have to be attached to a switched input, essentially. So other than that, everything looks fine. This should be booted, but right now we should get 0 volts on the output because we have nothing else going on right now. Yes, 0 volts on the output. And so if I hit the start button now, okay, it turns on the main. I still have 0 volts here, but I should get 12 volts here. I do. Okay, so now I'm on the output right now. And let's see if I go up. There we go, 1.85 volts, up. 4.23 volts, up. 6.62 volts, up. 9.02 volts, up. 12 volts. So we got a 12 volt output, and then we can go down. And that works just fine. Now, what about if we just ramp up very quickly? Yeah, it has a delay. That's good. And down very quickly. That's good. And we have no problem hitting our discrete steps. So there we go. I think we are good to set this thing up where it needs to go. Perfect. IDT, so you're making your own Water supply tanks, very cool. Rainwater collectors or other source rainwater. It's 4 times 950 liters. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of water. When we made our Canada trip in Algonquin, we took water from lake to purify, used a hand pump to filter through a ceramic disc. Yeah, very cool. Very cool stuff. Now they just have life straws and all sorts of like apparatuses. You can, there's bags that you can get that you just fill with lake water, and then you hook it up to a tree, and then it trickles through a filter just by gravity. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And if you're worried about microorganisms, there's little like sanitizing pellets you can put in. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is now fully functional. So we just need to transfer this to a Vero board. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the power supply here, and I'm going to connect it directly to the Vero board, and we'll use that instead. Your pump unit would pump into an Nalgene bottle. Yeah, that's cool too. I was just watching, there's a Canadian YouTuber where she goes on adventures, and she was in Utah, and she couldn't use her water filter in the Grand Canyon water. Like, I think that's where she was, because the sediment would just block the filters. So the thing you have to do is you treat it with a powder, and then you let the sediment settle at the bottom, and then you can filter the top part of the water without the sediment. Pretty cool. Okay, we're going to turn off the camera and take off the mics. Because this is going to be a while of soldering, certainly. Like so. And this can go back in the box. I've got some camping trips planned for this year, but I have to say, last year's finances didn't go well, so they're going to have to be free or low cost trips. We were thinking of going to Newfoundland, but it's not going to work out. It's too expensive. So it is what it is. To go to Newfoundland, it's something around like $3,000 to do it cheaply. I calculated with my average fuel mileage on my CRV, and just driving there and back is like $1,500 in fuel. Or beaver stuff. Yeah, poop. Okay, so let's turn on the soldering iron. My nose is runny this morning. I don't even know why. I better not be getting sick right before my job interview. Ugh. Stretch. Actually, I think the $1,500 included the ferry. So it's not as bad as it sounds. But don't forget that the ferry is half off right now because of the government incentive to travel. Good morning, Mr. Ireland. Give me 1 second, just gonna blow my nose here. ITT, I am not rich. That is the reason I can't go. We were thinking about it. Did this ferry grant wishes? No. Yeah, you don't take the Newfoundland ferry, Curtis. It's like, it's half price right now, and I think it's $400 there and back if you don't get a cabin. If you just like sit outside, if you just sit in the main area instead of like having a cabin, it's much cheaper. If you want a cabin, it's like $1,500. But it's not a short ferry, it's a long ferry. It's like 6 hours or more. Okay, let's get the RP settled. Makes your ferry look like a rowboat. Yeah. Good morning, JB. What are we breaking today? Just we're putting a oh, I could turn this off. We're putting a kit together. And by a kit, I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. We're putting together a project that is going to be installed in a very exclusive client's equipment. Very expensive equipment. So this is technically, actually, technically it's double, but I was going to, anyways, it's technically my first professional embedded project. But I was going to say that, but actually, technically, I've been getting paid to do embedded projects, so technically I'm already a professional embedded person, engineer, I guess. Not engineer, I guess, because Canada. Maker, technician. I think I could say technician. Actually, this is a good question. Let's ask Claude. I think Claude would be the best. I have been creating embedded projects for years, like 10 years, and a lot of them are specifically paid for by clients. In Canada, I can't officially call myself an engineer. What do I call myself professionally? Let's see what Claude says. Embedded systems developer. That's not great because developer kind of means coder. Okay, oh wait, hold on. If you're spans hardware and software developer. Systems developer. Developer tends to mean software. I am 80% hardware, 20% software, and usually I cheat and get you to make the code. Make sure to vote in the poll, folks. Embedded Systems Designer. That's good. So I am an embedded systems designer. That's what I am. Because yes, you cannot call yourself an engineer in Canada unless you are a licensed engineer. In fact, if you have a engineering degree, you are still not an engineer until you join your your faction's organization. No engineer. You got some cool displays today. ESP32 S3 based 4.3 inch and 8 inch displays. Very nice. This needs to stop rolling around. You're a Supreme Commander. At least that's what your LinkedIn page says. Yeah. So I was surprised on how important LinkedIn seems to be to recruiters. However, I have a hard time taking it seriously because it's basically a social media network. It's like Facebook. It has the same amount of garbage on it. Because yeah, you don't. I feel like honestly, LinkedIn is just Facebook with wearing a tie. There's so much AI trash on there. So many bots. There's like literal psychopaths too. Just business Facebook. Okay, got our Raspberry Pi. It's literally 80% scam. Yeah, it feels like that. It certainly feels like that. Okay, so next I need 12 volt in. So I've got my resistors here. So just making sure this is 220K. So it's 220, and then orange, which is times 1K. So yeah, 220K. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this, like we're going to select one of these, and then that'll go to pin 27, so that'll be down. And we'll just solder it like this, and then it'll come around to ground on with the other one. So I think I understand what I'm going on here. So let me tighten this down a little bit. Saying they're looking for me for their organizations on really, yeah. Yeah, Curtis, I completely agree with you. It's a little maddening. It's definitely more about who you know. And it sucks too because, like, when I went to the job fair, the tech job fair that we had here in Ottawa, all the recruiters were like hyped to see my PCBs, the fact that I do YouTube. They would talk my ear off, and they're like, "This is a great fit. Make sure to submit an application. We want you." Blah 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 blah. But then when it gets to HR, they're not interested because they see mechanic and they're just like, "Oh, no. We're a tech company. We don't hire mechanics." And then if you don't have mechanic on your thing, then they're like, "Well, why wasn't this guy employed for the last 20 years?" You know what I mean? Pretty brutal looking for work. And it sucks too because actually there are a lot of mechanics positions open right now. Like a lot. Like we all knew the industry was going to be shit. And actually the salaries are improving. So like I would love to go back to being a mechanic full time, but I can't. My body literally won't let me. I get like one minor injury and then I'm hurting for months. I'm seeing, especially like in trucking, the demand for fixing trucks is insanely high right now. And they pay better than fixing cars because you don't have individual clients, you have business clients. You don't have like private clients. Hey Franco, welcome back to the land of the living. Okay, I'm going to give it another touch of solder there. Automotive technical innovator, yeah. Back when I was at DeVry, one of your classmates got a job in the HR department of a company to research them. He ended up moving in the company to a high-end electronics position. Interesting. Way of getting around the resume shredders, yeah. This is true, but the lower end positions are extremely discriminating right now. The ones that don't require any like specific skills, like just like admin work, where admin skills are like what you need, they aren't really hiring. And the reason for that, or they're very discerning at hiring is what I should say. And that's because, just make sure this is a 220K. So red, black, orange, that's 220K. So they're extremely discerning because there are lots of people that don't have any specific skills except for like, people skills and whatever. And those people are hella looking for work. So they get people with like university degrees in like communications, for example, to be like office admin. It's very rough job market. And the other option, which my wife keeps saying I should do, is to just start my own business. It's a weird thing. Companies who would never ever consider you for a position, they would hire your company in a second. It's crazy. And my wife, being the extremely supportive person that she is, she's like, just do it. But it's like, not that easy. Just the amount of accounting I have to do on this YouTube channel is like nuts. And then you have to take a risk on starting a company. There are some nice tax benefits if you fail, but there's also negatives too. It is what it is. So way of getting, yeah. Last big gig was you starting out as the IT guy, then ending up designing their new TA system as a system architect. Yeah, I did that for a while, created a consulting company and ran under that for a while. I also think like there's a lot of like entry stuff that I could do. Like, I mean, I've built a couple of websites now, so I could build people's websites, but the demand for that, there's so many people building websites, especially since AI has taken over. So that's not quite, it's not quite as good a market anymore. But again, building websites, it's a lot more about who you know. Like my wife built a website, and it just happened to be someone that she knew, and yeah, that person needed a website, and my wife did it. Okay, so these need to go into the ground connection, both of them. So we need to decide what's ground. I do have space here. So if I put that here, and I can probably just slide the other one to the back here. All right, let's do this. Lifted too soon. Okay, now I need the other voltage divider. Oh, wait, maybe I should finish soldering this one. So that just needs to solder up to the same point there. There we go. So that's good. And now we need the other one in this hole. See if we can line it up with that one. Hand wrote your website. Not very lucrative as a product you could sell, yeah. Let's develop a WordPress-based product and sell that. Can you elaborate what you mean? Because like WordPress has pretty much every add-on you could potentially want. So we need to jump over to here. I think it might be safer to go on that side. We just have to empty. Got a little solder in the hole here. I don't think it's likely that I'll be able to get it through there. Can you guys still see? Yeah, you can see-ish. Get in there. There we go. So we just get it to lay flat. Probably just about there. Okay, that's good. And then we just lay it right on top of this one. And then we'll get a little solder blob going on there. That's good. We'll snip this off. That looks good. Then we need to solder the bottom here. Solder from the bottom, now we're here. Solder from the bottom, now my whole team here. Oops. Solder from the bottom, now we're here. There we go. Okay, where's the other one soldered to? Seems to be soldered together. Yeah, so we're good. Okay, voltage dividers are done. So now, here we've got, this one goes to 27, so it's down, up. So down, up, just like that. Perfect. How many people know what to do with them? Yeah. A couple companies that basically polished WordPress and some choice plugins. Yeah, so you mean like the B theme and stuff? There are like lots of security add-ons for for WordPress. I think if you stay updated, it's not too bad. But you got to be a little realistic here. Okay, so our voltage divider is completely done, and we just need to, let me just make a little note of where everything goes. Because this is not my project, there's actual consequences for this not working. So let me just make sure it's well documented. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Didn't do this well now, did I? Oh, you guys can't see. 10, 11, 12. All right, so it'll be down on the second one, down, and then the third one is up, fourth one is ground. I just need to mark them. I can do it better after. We just need to deal with it. Okay, so that's good. So next would be our MOSFET stage. So we can grab, so this is the gate resistor, one of the pull-ups. So that goes from pin 3.3 volt, which is here, okay, which is here. I'm going to run it down the middle. So we'll just put a little, we're going to shorten it quite a bit. We're going to pop that in there. You know, I want to make sure it doesn't actually stick up too much. I don't want it to poke the bottom of the board and short like whatever, a via or something that goes to something else. So I'm going to make a very shallow hook on that. I think the other big problem with applying for work is I'm not willing to lie on my resume. And I mean, like, not even white lies. So it might be that the employers literally have one of the few honest resumes. And it is possible that because they assume that I'm embellishing, that they're like, oh, you know, if we just take 30% of the skills off everybody's resume, it'll be about accurate. But if they do that to mine, then you're actually removing 30% of my skills. So you've got that too. And also, my resumes, they sound kind of silly. Because it's like mechanic, professor, and then like fleet and YouTube channel, so like media creation, and then you've got like all the media tools like Premiere and Photoshop, but then you also have like a little bit of Python, a little bit of C++. You've got microcontroller, you got embedded stuff, you've got like test equipment testing. Like, it's just a freaking mess. So I'm like very much a master of none, except for mechanics, but again, nobody cares about that. Nobody could give two craps about my experience as a mechanic unless they're hiring mechanics. I'm also like specialized in diagnostics. A couple of the jobs I applied to were like, oh, must be comfortable with oscilloscopes, and I'm like, it's not. Yeah, no, I know, but the thing is, I don't want to be hired under false pretense. I don't want them to be on my first day of work and be like, who do you think you are? That is not something I want. So I refuse to optimal phrase. But like, they say optimal phrase, but you should see, like, especially like the specific websites that help you build your resume, they are straight lying. Like, they are straight lying. You go read up on forums too, and it's like, they are actually lying. Like, people are literally lying on their resumes. And what's the consequence of lying on your resume? These people get the frickin' jobs. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like, I need to live up to what I said I do. That is just who I am. If I was hiring and someone lied on their resume, which they probably all do, I would be furious. It's not a good way to start a relationship, you know? Yeah, lying seems to be the first step in a lot of people's resumes. Not me. I do not lie. The job I have a interview with, they're like, it's a soldering job. And so, like, one of their screening questions was like, have you ever desoldered and resoldered, or like replaced a fine pitch SMD connector? And then the example they gave was like HDMI. And I was like, nope. Never done that. However, I also mentioned, though, that I have done fine pitch rework. I have also I have reflowed like USB 3 connectors before. I fixed a friend's thumb drive. But I think the logic there is that I've done something similar, so I should just say I did. But I was like, no. I don't want to. I don't want to lie. You know, what if they have a technical interview and they're like, here, resolder this. I don't want to lie. I'm not a fan of lying. I was thinking lying and having AI writing your resume was the step. It's great because people don't care about the company, the relationship with they hired to you. No, I'm not sure I follow, but I think I get what you mean. The other thing is I don't let AI write my cover letters. I mean, I do use AI as a tool. Don't get me wrong. I ask it its opinion and stuff, but I think so many people use AI for their cover letters that I want my personality to come through. I want it to be obvious that I didn't use AI to write for me. And that could be wrong. That could cost me dearly, possibly. But I don't want to. So I didn't do it. I didn't use AI. I want them to know that there's a human on the other end, and that's what they would get if they would hire me. A human. Oh shit. This is the wrong resistor. This goes to pin 15. Thankfully, resistors aren't a big deal. This is the pull-up, because this is a 10K. Brown, black. Brown, black is 110. Oh, it's backwards. This is yellow, purple. That's 47. 470, and then another 0. What did I use? 470. No, it's not 47. Right? Hold on. Yellow is 4. Purple is 7. Yeah, okay, I was gaslighting myself. To plus 12 volts. No, okay, I got it right. This is for... Okay, this is not what I'm talking about. This one is red, black. That's 220 and then 0 multiplier. So this is not a pull-up. This actually goes to pin 15. So not a difficult screw up to undo. Hate those resistors? Yeah. Oh, need to get going. 9:15 meeting. Take care. Have a good one. No, that's not what they're asking, Franco. And the thing is, I don't know if I could. I've never done it. That's the other thing. You know what? Something you have to know about me is I get anxiety. So my mental well-being requires me to be honest, because at least I can self-soothe by the fact that I was honest. Right? I can feel good that I was honest. Before I was hired from my current boss, so keep in mind I didn't know him yet, but before I got hired by him, I told him, I said, this needs to work for both of us, and I need to know when stuff is not going well. Like, I worked at a dealership for a very long time. And when things were shitty, they were hidden. And then it would brood in the background. It would all come out, you know, all at once. And I was like, I don't want to do this. This is not the kind of work I want. So I said, I want to be open and honest with you. You know, if I just don't want to come into work, I will not call in sick. I will say, I don't want to come into work. And it turns out it never happened because he's a really good guy to work for. But like, it's those kinds of things that I was just like, I don't want to deal with office politics anymore. I don't want to deal with the flat rate system anymore. I didn't want to deal with anything like that. So I was just like, this is how it's going to be. If you're not interested, that's totally fine. We will just go our separate ways. But he was interested. And honestly, he is the best boss I could have ever asked for. Just that sadly, my back won't allow me to work for him. There we go. I think I may have a little short here. Have to get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, sadly, I can't work for him for the rest of my life because I can't be in pain. And also, right now it's just pain. What happens when like it's debilitating to the point where I have to go to the hospital or get treatments or cannot get medically cleared to work anymore, right? So I have to diversify. Okay, so that's the pull-up. So brown, hold on, am I an idiot? Oh yeah, brown, black, black, 1, 0, 0, and then times 1,000. That's a 10K. It's a pull-up. Okay. Can't solder if someone's watching you. You screw it all up. Yeah, it's possible. Why don't you ask for disability for your back? Because you'll be able to continue your work and not be reprimanded. Let me tell you why. It's because I have an income on YouTube. So because I make income on YouTube, then any disability payments would be reduced by the amount I make on YouTube. And so it would be very, very little money left every month, and it wouldn't be worth the constant reporting you have to do. It would probably end up being very, very little. So that's why. It would probably end up being like $50 a month. Well, some months it would be better than others. Also the tax reporting and the fluctuation. Like some months I'll have a really, like December for YouTubers is very, very good. Well, that's a problem because then they'll assume all your months are like that, and then it's a shit ton. The thing is, I do non-standard work, and something you learn very quickly is that the government is set up for standard things. not non-standard. Okay, this is 4.7K, and this goes to 12 volts. So to plus 12 volts. Okay, so that is I have to figure out where this goes now. So in my diagram, that's the drain. Hang on, did I write this down? So yes, disability is for people who really, really need it and who don't have any other streams of income. And I have streams of income, so I count myself lucky for it, but at the same time, it makes my situation very, very complicated. It's not really something that can be easily solved. So, yeah. Do have to make sure the solder is good on that. This pull-up is crucial. If I only had one job, like if I was just a full-time mechanic, then it would be something that would work for me. But I am not. No company will hire you without the disability paper. What? No. That's not. No. That's different. Okay, you're talking about like getting a handicap placard. So I don't think chronic pain counts as that kind of disability. I'm not sure, actually. I don't know. What I'll say is I really don't know. I'm not actually sure what that counts as. Okay, so this is annoying me, so I'm just going to move on to the next one. So here we have, so I got red, that's 2, 2, 0, and 0 multiplier. So this one goes definitely to the gate as well. So I don't know what the process would be to get. I do have a family doctor now for the first time. So that is something very different. How do I hook into this? Maybe I'll go here and then come around town. I go like 15 here, and then if I come around town, I can solder it down into the middle. Maybe I'll adjust this a little bit. Disability payment. Okay. Well, it's not quite like that. The problem is you still have to prove it. You still need your doctor on board, and to get a diagnostic like that is possible, but it would take like years. takes a long time because you're low priority. We have a prioritized healthcare system. And I don't want to get into the politics of it. But essentially, it is slowly but surely being destroyed from the inside by cutting funding and stuff like that because of nefarious reasons. And so, if you're able to function like I am, you're very low on the priority list for getting tests done, like MRIs. Like, I'm still waiting for I don't even have an appointment set up, but I have a scan ordered by my doctor. And because there's nothing wrong with me, like I could still live my life and whatever, the priority for me to go get a scan is low compared to like people who are getting screened for potential cancer, for example. Because what the scan is that even if it's like the worst case scenario, it's still something that's manageable. So I'm low priority. And the goal by those in power is to have people like me give up and pay to go to a private clinic. But again, like I said, my income hasn't been great. So even though I could afford to go get a scan done, it would mean many other aspects of my life would become more complicated. Actually, let me rephrase that. Just because I could potentially pay to get a scan done does not mean that I can afford to get a scan done. Just like how possibly I would probably be approved for a car loan on a brand new car, but that doesn't mean that I can afford a brand new car. I don't know if that yeah, privatization, yeah, slowly but surely boiling the frog, for sure. That is going on here. %100%. Just want to make sure this doesn't interfere here. Well, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Perfect. So here's the progress so far. We have, I feel like I have not as much light here. I don't know why. Anyways, so that's the bottom, and that's the top. Free healthcare will not last more than 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's move off healthcare because I don't want to get depressed. Thank you. Please and thank you. Okay, so next is this one. So now we need a ground connected to one of these legs. And we need a power connected to one of these legs. So this needs to connect to power. So I could stuff it in here, but then if it shakes, it might short on something, and it will shake. So I can go around town and plug it up here. Let's find out which leg it goes on. Probably have a department for that, yeah. Put some heat shrink on the leg of the resistor, yeah, possibly. It just becomes difficult to manage. But actually, you're not wrong, because I have very, very thin heat shrink. I think I might actually do that. I think I might solder it to one of the legs, coat the whole thing in heat shrink, and shove it on through. Might be a good idea. Okay, I need to sit for a couple of minutes though. Because my back is getting a little bit iffy. You get some Kapton tape under the resistor. I think, not really. I think heat shrink is not a bad idea though. I would love to coat this whole friggin' thing in hot glue. It's gonna go into this box. It's gonna sit like right here, inside here. Don't know if that's. It's gonna sit like in there somewhere. I might build this up with. I have alien tape. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like clear, tall tape. So I might put that in there. I can't put it in. I can't pot it in hot glue, which I would really, really like. But I do have epoxy. I can't do it in hot glue because this will be used outside on plus 40-degree days. And in this black box in the sun with no ventilation, with heat generating components, there's no way. The hot glue will just become water. There is very high temp hot glue, but I don't have the equipment to use it, like to melt it. Oh, here's alien tape. Oh my god, I'm old. Oh my god, ugh. I'm getting stiff. So this is alien tape. Give me a second. 3D printed block. So it's like double-sided, but I think it's like self-amalgamating. I don't know. My dad gave me this because he bought some. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll ask my boss to bring silicone in, and we will drip silicone on everything except for the USB connector, so I can update the firmware. And then probably put a dab of silicone in the bottom here and sit that on, because silicone will stick because of the holes in here. So that's probably what I'm going to do. We have silicone sealant that we use in automotive for like gaskets, oil pans, and stuff like that, which is very high temp, very high everything essentially. And I wish I had some here, but I don't. Yeah, I do not. Okay, anyways, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a coffee break. I'll play you guys a video of mine because YouTube freaks out when I don't have enough audio bitrate going through. Nanotape, they call that. Doesn't resist high temperature. Can you extend the USB to make it easier to get to? So I think I'm going to sit it like upwards. I think I'm going to sit it at an angle so that I can just take the top off and plug the USB in. Because, yeah, if I sit at an angle, I think it'll be fine. And anyways, I can get I have USB 90-degree angles, so I can make it work. So yes, let me get you guys a video going so that YouTube doesn't freak out that I'm a shitty streamer. Double stick, super tape, extend the USB. Okay, I just want to make sure I got all the comments. Any recommendations? Anybody, anything you want to see from my channel? Oops. I can't believe this video got 37K views. This one got 900. Oh, did I tell you guys? PCBWay got mad at me for this one. This is from their competitor. How am I supposed to know? I wish this video got more, put a podcast on, but it's not visual. I could. Here, Basement Electronics.
Hey everyone, you're listening to the Simple Electronics Podcast. I'm your host, Dan from the Simple Electronics.
This episode is brought to you by PCBWay, and more about that a little bit later on, because right now I've got a very special guest. You might know him as Basement Electronics on YouTube. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. So you're a fellow Canadian. Are you excited for spring and sick of the snow like me, or are you just loving it overall?
Oh, I'm very looking forward to spring. It feels like every time I'm ready to do some work outside, we get just a little more snow, just enough that I can't do anything.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, he's actually a couple hours southwest of me. And so the weather that I feel is very similar to the weather that he feels, except I got rid of all my snow, and you were saying that you never lost all your snow, right?
No, we lost our snow. We just got a light dusting of it yesterday.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
with that ice storm that we had about a week and a half ago, that actually helped get rid of all our snow too.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, we got a full snowstorm up here, probably 6 centimeters of snow or so. That's, I don't know, 2.5 inches, 3 inches for the people in the United States, Liberia, and Myanmar. And so, what have you been up to lately? I've seen that you've released a April 1st video. How did that go?
That actually went a lot better than I expected. So since I started the channel, I tried to make a point to at least put something out on April 1st. Like not necessarily like an April Fool's style video, but at least something fun, maybe something a little different from what I would usually do on the channel. So this year marked the 10th April 1st video because I'm going to hit my 10-year anniversary in August. So I decided to basically go through all my previous videos and just kind of do a commentary on every one of them. So I never really expect much from these videos. Like I never expect them to be the highest viewing videos in the channel. But this year's actually went pretty well. I'd say it looks like it's right now ranking third in all of my April 1st videos.
Oh, and obviously it had the less time to simmer because we're recording this on the 9th. So there's only 8 days essentially of data for that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool. And so can you tell us a couple of your, like, obviously people are going to have to go watch the video, but can you let us know a couple of your notable April 1st videos that maybe starting with the ones you like the most?
Well, the one I liked the most was from a couple years ago, which I just called and is basically all of the outcuts from the first 2 years of my recording, because I say a lot, especially when I'm trying to figure out what to say next. So it was like a full 3.5 minutes of clips of me just going just, and it actually worked really well. And when I was going through the videos again to put the compilation together, I actually ended up watching the full thing again, and it actually made me laugh. My second favorite was one I did. It was a take on the IT Crowd's episode where they had the internet. So I found a key lock box, put a 555 timer in it with a blinking LED. Then I put a sticker saying "This is the cloud." So that must be my second favorite. And then I think my third one is the first one I did, where I did a let's play of the little dinosaur jumping game in Chrome that you get when you lose your internet.
Real streamer stuff.
Well, that first year I was kind of influenced by some Let's Players, so I figured it'd be a fun thing to do for an April 1st. Like, hey, you know what would people think if I went from electronics to Let's Plays, and it also made me realize why I don't do Let's Plays.
Yeah, because
I cannot get that stream of consciousness that a lot of them tend to do when they play games.
that's something you get used to, though. It's like a muscle. And essentially all of your internal thoughts, you just have to vocalize them. It's a little bit weird. Like I do that live streaming too. Not quite like concentrating on a video game, but like this morning, I think you were on the live stream and I was trying to build a breadboard circuit. And so I had to externalize everything I was thinking. But like, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of concentration to get the pins in the right holes the first shot. So that's cool that you had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that you did. I've always had ideas for April Fool's videos, but just the execution is something that told me I was supposed to start earlier, but I always start way too late. And so I don't think I ever officially put out a April Fool's video.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it sneaks up on you. Like the number of April 1st videos I put out that I would record like on like the 29th of March or 30th. Like, so one I did which was just a time lapse of a 3D print, and it was just like this useless little ring that had like Basement Electronics embossed on the side of it. If you look at the timestamp of the time lapse, it was overnight from the 29th to the 30th. So that kind of tells you the kind of time margins I was dealing with some of these. Others like the internet, I definitely had to put a lot more work and design and thought into, and I'd like to say it shows when you put more thought and work into it, but sometimes the ones you do the night before get just as much reaction as the ones that you put about a month worth of planning into. So it's No, it's pretty much like any of the other videos we put out. It's you get an idea, you execute it, and then once you release it to the world, you see where it goes.
Yep. Like, for example, my most effort-filled video, how to use a multimeter, the very basics, that is my second most viewed, has 179,000 views. But my number one most viewed is a video I took pretty much in one take, which is charging a drill battery without an official charger. And that has 1,179,000 views. So it's really a mixed bag. I always said on YouTube, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you get.
No. Yeah, I started a series of on programming that, and when I got less than like 100 views on it in over 2 weeks, it's like, all right, maybe people don't want this. And it was a series I was really looking forward to putting together.
Is that
And
your 1 month ago video, the program layout?
yeah.
Yeah, so those things, that is to me the most rewarding videos to make, is videos that are like tutorially and sort of educational. But
Mhm.
you'll have to gauge its effectiveness in 1 to 3 years from now.
And I'm back. Just give me one moment. The interviewer has messaged me back. Okay. All right. So yeah, the person who is going to be interviewing me on Friday messaged me back because they set up a phone interview, and I was like, that's fine, I don't mind, but like I could just drive down to the shop. Here is the coffee stir that I robbed you of earlier. There you go. Okay. So we're almost done here. All right, let's figure out this this pin situation. So let me sit down for this. Oh my God, yes, my back. All right, 2N7000 datasheet. My audio is, oh. I don't know why I turned down my audio. Is this better? Should be back to normal now. Okay, so it is 1, 2, 3. Source, gate, drain. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, source, gate, drain. So drain is to 12 volts. So that's this end. Yes, it's got to be. Yes. Okay, so the right-hand side, that one's going to go to 12 volts, and I think I will do as suggested by ITT Technical Institute. I think I'm going to put heat shrink on it and jam it in there. There are components in there, but it should be okay. I have very fine heat shrink, which I now can't locate. This stuff, very fine heat shrink. Don't really only need as long as the Arduino is, the RP2040. Thank you, Gerald. Is this double wall with resin? Hope not. I think it is. Well, we're about to find out. It doesn't matter. It is double wall. Don't think it's resonated though. Let that cool. Turn back on the soldering iron. So we're going to need ground here. We can actually bridge these two pads and just make both these pads ground. So that's good. That should be cooled. Does it still fit? The double-walled stuff is kind of thick. It doesn't fit anymore. Oh boy. You know what I can do instead? I'll just get a... Okay, first of all, we need a new 4.7K. Because now this one's ruined. But we can just run a little piece of wire underneath here. Actually, if it doesn't have some resin, we can free it. Because what am I going to do with a 4.7K ohm resistor stuck in heat shrink for the rest of my YouTubing career? I mean, I guess you could argue that at the cost of resistors, I should just throw this one away, but because I'm already throwing away the heat shrink. Yeah, you never said double wall. And after all, you never said double wall. Where are my Gen Xers? I think Gerald's Gen X, right? If he's 60, that would put him, he was born in the, let's see, 60 years ago. 2000 would bring us to 26 years ago. 1980 would bring us to 46 years ago. 1970 would bring us to 56. He was in the mid-70s. Is that Gen X? Or is, yeah, I guess Gen X. Yeah, because I'm late 80s millennial. 60 is not boomer. Not technically. We do call them boomers, but you know what? In the garbage. Okay, 4.7K is what we need. Excuse me. No, we call them boomers by parlance. You know those people that accidentally have their cell phone flashlights on in public? That level of boomer. That's what they are. So Gerald, did you ever forget your cell phone flashlight on for extended periods of time? I'll give you a secret. 63. Between Boomer and Gen X. 1963. My dad was born in the 50s. Oh, boy. Okay. There seems to be a thread in my coffee. Not anymore, there isn't. Oh, yes. Coffee is the nectar of the gods. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I need an assorted piece of wire. Actually, I went and grabbed wire from an automotive harness, which would probably be better for this use case. Tougher. So this should fit. Nope. It don't fit. I'll go get a thinner wire. The rub resistance on automotive wire is superior to regular PVC multi-use stuff. Actually, it depends on which manufacturer you get it from. I feel like Fords will rub through just about anything for any reason. Okay, so here we go. I got a signal wire, so it's very, very thin gauge. And we only need a short piece to go underneath. There we go. Let's say here. Uh, 1965 to 1980 is Gen X. Yeah, there is a greatest generation, yep. But they called themselves that. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. So I think that's the generation they call themselves the greatest generation. Which I think, because of the sacrifices they made, I think they deserve some of that. But I think the other thing is that there's still room to be critical, you know, about the involvement. Not from them, just from the people in power. I think a lot of people got the shit end of the stick during wartime. Sadly. Okay, so let's solder that bad boy on there. Economist, historian, author David Foote says the early 60s is a unique microgeneration for many reasons. I do believe that. I do believe, again, usually when the way these things go, is stuff really does exist on a spectrum. Okay, watch my stripping skills here. I want to strip a little bit further up. That's what these guys are really good for. Oh, I spoke too soon. Okay. I still have solutions though. I feel so bad for the people who had no choice but to go fight in foreign wars. You know what I mean? Like people who were experiencing poverty. It will go back soon. A lot of these people didn't have a choice, didn't have a say. And then the draft, which I think is wrong. Just overall shitty. You melt the insulation? Yeah. Big reason is the lull in population growth between boomers and Xers. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And now we need to connect this onto this side here. So can trim this quite a bit. Let's not go too extreme. Give that a little downwards hitch. Okay, give it a little dab of solder. There we go. Got so close to having this just fit without any bending, but not quite what happened. It's okay, sometimes the best laid plans, huh? Just going to tack this down to another spot here. There we go, just so it's supported. Okay, so now we need another wire to come through here for ground. We should mark this to the second one in. That is 12 volt. 12 volt. And that is from the, I guess, the main main, yeah. Okay, 12 volt main. So we just need a ground to come through and hit down here. And we'll bring it up. Probably connect it here and just have all these be the ground. I would rather get a black wire, so I'll be back and I'll get a PVC is not the best for your health. Yeah, I agree. I learned about the thinkers in Texas today. I'm not sure what that pertains to. I've never heard of it. Okay. Cut myself off a little piece of gray. This is a little smaller gauge than I was expecting. But all this is all very, very low current stuff. So we're okay. Oh, wait. I need another wire for the output. Okay, so that's good. I have red for that. What time is it? It's already 10. Jesus. Time flies when you're having fun with your friends. Okay, this time I'm going to strip this end first. So, yeah, I need this down here. So let's pre-tin this. So we may not finish today, actually. Okay, I'm gonna lay that on there. And then just need to lay that here. Sorry, you guys can't see this very well, but I'm sort of working in tight quarters myself. There we go. So that is there. So that red wire just comes around to the base of the 4.7K on the other side of the 12 volts. So that's why we have that reverse logic. Now I need to strip this one tight to there. I guess I'll use the stripper. Okay, so that is actually stripped now. We can just tuck that under a little bit. We need to strip a little closer. Ooh, that's going to be tough to do. Should have stripped both ends. I don't like pulling that hard on those solder joints, so I really have to get a good cut on the insulation. The saving grace here is that it doesn't matter if I cut a couple of the strands. Because this doesn't need to be this thick. So I wouldn't call that cleanly stripped, but I suppose stripping is stripping. All right. So that is some solder. Just trim a little bit off here. I hate PVC wire too, but it has strong vibration resistance, strong abrasion resistance. So it is the better option for vibration heavy and abrasion heavy applications. So horses for courses, sadly. There we go. So that is now soldered on. So there's the two that I've been working on, these two. We're going to add this to the legend. 12 volt. So from main, and main is actually 4. And then this one here is sig out. Throttle. Okay, so that's good. And now we need a ground to come through here. Going to be a little tricky to solder it in, but I think I'll be able to do it. So let's take our piece of gray. So let's strip our gray. I'm going to probably shrink it a little bit. There's our gray. We're going to pre-tin that. You guys want background music or something? Because I'm sure I'm not being the most entertaining right now. You guys want me to make background music? Pre-tinned. All right, let's run this through. So this will connect here. And now going to give it a little bit more length because I want it on this ground. So maybe we'll trim that here. You're fine without the music? Okay, good to know. My back is not feeling great. It's weird because like sitting, when I sit down, it like recovers my back very quickly. So like I'll have a sore back and then I'll sit down for like 10 minutes and then it'll be like refreshed. It'll be like back to as if nothing happened. Technically, a wire should have a secondary insulation against abrasion. Yeah, no, you're right. Double tasking, you're good company. Well, thank you. What are you doing? Like, I do understand, like, I do the same thing. I watch live streams on the second monitor while I do work. What are you guys doing on your primary monitor? Like, what's going on? What projects are you working on? I don't know if ITT is, like, still working on her slab or what. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to try to bend this in an L and try to get a lot of grounds here. So I want to kind of tack that down where all of this is ground. Let's pre-tin. There we go. So we've got a bunch of ground pads. I can even ground this one other pad. There we go. That's all ground now. So there is the ground. So these next three, all three are ground. Okay, what am I missing? So I've got my little power supply, which I can make a little wire from 5 volts over to somewhere here, or I can just solder it on top. The ground does need to be connected though. That's a big one. So pin 2 here needs to come up and ground. think I may have gotten the PVC a little too hot there. That's well stuck in there. Okay, and I'm just going to flip this guy down. Do you know how much easier this would have been on a PCB? I just don't have the time to order a PCB. Especially with international shipping. Even like on the day I was given this project, I probably could have ordered a PCB and have it here on time. But with international shipping, like you could get a day of delay without even blinking an eye. So that is now grounded. So if I solder right to the ground up here, that would be my easiest, because then I don't have to desolder all this. Oh, Jesus. You had a 45-minute nap earlier, but it's too near making food and taking meds to have a nap. I guess that makes sense. Make food and have a nap now. So what now? Now I need to install little pieces of wire. So the ground I'll grab from here. I don't need the ground. So ground and 5 volts. And then I think that's it. I think there's genuinely not anything else to do. So if I hook this up, I'll just put little pieces of wire so I'm not soldering directly on those things. So let's see, we have blue. Blue can be up. Okay, and then we have green and pink. So pink, oh, and we need a signal out, so we need another color. So pink can be signal out. Green can be like the down or whatever. And I should have purple. There we go, purple. Pink is for you. Yes, the code has been changed. Thank you. PCBWay pays for Express for me, but it doesn't matter because there is like a 2-day process to make the board, and then the express delivery from China is 2-ish days. Sometimes customs makes it longer. Like there's variables. Okay, so let's do the 12-volt main. Take the green. Actually, purple. 12-volt main. How big? I don't need that big. And we'll solder that onto here. You know what, we'll do all of them. Two. Should have cut this straighter, whatever. 3 and 4. Purple for the channel, yeah. I should get more purple wire. I would like to add aesthetics into my builds, but it's like difficult because my builds are always like on a time budget. Oh yeah, let's pre-tin before we do anything. Like that ESP video is still not done. Is that a Pokemon you have in your PFP ITT? It's like a Dwebble. I'm not super familiar with the newer Pokemon. It's a cat. Oh. Well then. Shows how much I know. Okay, am I going to regret using this thick of gauge of wire? Possibly. Okay, purple and pink. Oh, this one, the pink is actually much thicker. It didn't grab as much solder. Or I should say I didn't give it enough solder. Okay, untacked itself from the board. There we go. Should be on there pretty good. This sadly got pretty hot, so the solder migrated up. This is why crimping is usually a more technical option. These are going to be a little bit difficult. Really should have used thinner wire. And then this one. Looks like we don't have any shorts. That's good. Would really like to dab some adhesive on these, but you really can't do that until it's ready to go. Okay, so now we can at least do a test. You don't really know much more about Pokemon. Man, I honestly think, Franco, if you played the original Pokemon, like Red or Blue, on an emulator, you would enjoy it. Because it has that old school aesthetic that you seem to like, but except it has depth and complexity, unlike Atari titles. So I think the old fogies really should give it a try, especially if you like retro consoles like Commodore and stuff like that, because it's really, the Game Boy at the time wasn't all that powerful. So the similarities are pretty strong. Okay, so now purple. Let's do, so purple is this purple, and then that's pink. And then down is blue, and up is green. And I'm just going to solder back onto here. Positive is this one, so that goes up onto that 5 volt. Played some Pokemon younger, really wasn't convinced. Okay. If Pokemon was like a game released on like a Tandy, I know for a fact Franco would be into it. Just seems right up his alley. This is positive, so solder it onto here. And this is ground. Not a gamer. Not used any Nintendo, Sega, or Atari stuff. But didn't you like code games on your, what is that vintage computer that you were talking about before? Or was that not you, Franco? Am I mistaking you for someone else? Pokemon interested you from afar. ZX80. Yeah, there we go. I know nothing about retro computing. Like nothing. Windows 95 is my retro era. Already at that young age, I was sort of like the family tech support. Okay, so that works, or that doesn't work yet. We don't know. Program the Spectrum, ZX80. Don't play any games. Okay, fair. All right, so 6 is up. So to here, that's 6. And then 7 is down. 6, 7. By the way, if you hate the 6, 7 stuff, just start saying it. The more that old people adopt it, the less that the kids will believe it is cool. Free tip Friday for you. Okay, this is the main. And then we need to stuff the ground to the ground. And then positive. All right, we might let the smoke out, but we're about to find out. Okay, so right now it should be at 0. Don't know why it's floating at 1.2 volts. Either way, let's turn this on. So we go start. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Okay, let me think about this. So we're getting 12 volts to here, correct? 12 volts here. 12 volts here. 12 volts here. That means the MOSFET is not on. Volts here, 12 volts here. We have pull up here. Okay. Maybe our grounding is not enough. Let's power this off. Let's see. I don't want to mess with the ground, but maybe we don't have a choice. Let's try that again. It's off. Power on. Okay, we're at our 1 watt of consumption. Turn that on. Should have 12 volts here. We do indeed. Let's keep that range. And our we're getting 5 volts here, 5 volts here. So why are we getting we're getting 2.3 volts above ground on our ground? Okay, I think I know the problem. I think this ground wire is not soldered properly. Do you have power for the Pi? Yeah, I do indeed. Just need to flow a little bit of solder. Hopefully that does the trick. Okay, so let's try this again. Power on. Zero there. So let's start. Okay, we've got 12 volts there. That's good. Do we have 12 volts here? No, we have 0 now. And the reason for that, we have 12 volts there. We have 0 volts there. That means the MOSFET is on. Okay, good. So now I want you guys to see as well. Can you guys see? Not really. Okay, 0 volts. Grab the remote. 1 volt. 3 volts. 5 volts. 7.5 volts. 12 volts. And stop. As far as I can tell, it works. So now we can film a piece to camera showing that it works, and then we just have to install it in here, and then that's it. 7.5. Yeah, there's maybe some strangeness. Hold on a sec. Let's turn it on. There could be like problems with these connections too. I wouldn't look too deeply into it for the moment. Can double check. Because the first voltage should be I don't remember. 12. So 12 divided by 5. First voltage shouldn't be 1 volt. It should be like 2 volts. So let's see here. Start. So we're at 0. I know it's fuzzy, but okay. Up. So that's 1 volt. Then 3 volts. Then 5 volts. Then 7 volts. Then 12. Yeah, I don't know why the discrepancy. Do I have a resistor wrong? That's definitely 4.7K. 4, 7, 0, and 1, 0, 47K. It's 220 with a 0 multiplier, so 220 ohm. Although I could have damaged it with the soldering iron here. Nope, 214 ohms. $4.7K. It's good. 220K. $220K. 69K, nice. 68K. Ground is good. Ground is good. Oh. This looks high resistance. No, it's not high resistance. Nope, that's good. And then the pull-up is 10K. Brown, red. Oh no. Brown, black, black. That's 100. Red is 3 zeros. 2 zeros? 2 zeros. Yeah, so that's 10K. I don't know. It all looks good to me. I think it'll be fine though. Ugh, looking very cool. Should make for a great video. I sure hope so. Resistance is futile. Ugh, my back is killing me though. It's gonna be time to get going. I'm not sure what could be wrong. except that I may have overheated the transistor. Let's turn it on. And then pop this in here. And then you go start. 1, 2, 3. So now it's showing 6.5 volts. Now 9. Whatever it was, it's fixed now. I don't know what it was. The other thing, oh, you know what? My current protection is set to 1 amp. Maybe, I don't know. But let me clean up quickly, and we will get this ready for a piece to camera, because my back is just absolutely crying out. Might have been bridged. And I can inspect on a microscope. Truly don't know. It all looks good. But anyways, let's get ready to do a piece to camera, because right now I am starting to push the envelope on my back. This is no longer needed. It's on a proto board. All right, let's check this out. Fuchsia and chartreuse. Okay, let's see. Get the microphones first so I can burst like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Where are my millennials at? Nobody understands my music here. You can always output volt via your array percent. Seems like work best from 5 to 12. No, it works fine now. But welcome to the stream. By the way, is anybody, first of all, make sure to vote in the poll. But is anybody here from the Shorts feed? Because I did set it up so that it would go in the Shorts feed. So I managed to fit it all onto the proto board, and I'm ready to show you what it looks like. Now there's still some adaptation to be done. We still need to still need to, fit it in here, but I'm not sure if I'll bring you along for that. I might take photos for you. But here we go. So let's turn on the power supply. So right now there is 0 volts on this line, which is the output. Yep, 0 volts. That's good. Then I can grab the remote and I'll turn it on. So now it is on. And what do we get for voltage? Should be 0. Yeah, still 0. Now let's throttle up. 1.2, let's throttle up. 3.0, throttle up. 5, 7, and then 12. Now for some reason, it did this last time as well, where it just wouldn't have the accurate numbers. So let's try this again. We'll turn it off. And we'll turn it back on. So now it is back on. We have 0. Start it. Up, up. For some reason, it's not quite working. There must be some intermittent connection here. Well, I guess it's not fixed anymore. What the heck could be the problem? Okay, so that's on now. Okay, so that's definitely broken. Let's see if we have a bad ground. No. Not bad power, not bad ground. PWM wise, we have 1.31 volts. Why would there be more volts? I think it is a damaged MOSFET. Because there's more volts on the gate side of this resistor compared to I think I overheated my MOSFET, guys. Okay. I mean, I don't want to do this today. So everything is off now. Let's grab another MOSFET. Let's try tacking it on here without damaging anything. Everything is connected now too, so not exactly the easiest. Okay, let's just see if it works. Power on, set stop. Okay, 0 volts, on, up. Same problem. Oh, 7. Yeah, no. This should be more like, or like 9 or something. .66. Okay. Now it's showing 12 volts. So the MOSFET's no longer on. Reset this. Don't tell me the Raspberry Pi died. Flip it back on. That should be all on. The Raspberry Pi died. Doesn't make any sense. Pin 15 is this one. So I hit reset. It's now at full PWM. So that means that now this will be at 0. It is indeed at 0. No, we are well within current specs. The other thing I could try is to add another ground wire back to okay, hang on. So what if let's turn it off. Ground. Ground is this side. Are we 100% sure of that? We are indeed. Okay, turn it on. It's at 12 volts now, so it's not. It's not working. Well, everything was working fine. So right now it should be at full. Oh, PWM is working now. This will be 12 volts. No, wait, 0 volts. Five, 7, 12. 7, 5, 2, 1. So it's not working well, but it's working. Something funky is, let's go stop. That dissipates, yeah. Start. Okay, stop. Turn this off. Turn this on. Start. 0 volts, that's good. Up. Up. Yeah, it's working weird. Let's go down to 7 point whatever. It's so weird. Look at it fluctuating too. So I'm touching the pins underneath. Okay, I think the grounding may not be enough. 7, so that's 12. Okay. Let's see if I jam a ground directly onto the power supply. And I'll just touch the ground there, I guess. That might not be enough. Yeah, great. Fall forever for all I care. I used to have a whole bunch of wires with croc clips, and now they are just nowhere to be found. Oh, what's this? Nope, that's a BNC. It's confusing. It's not so bad. It's a project for yourself when someone else, yeah. And until we put it together on proto board, it was working perfectly fine. There's the wire that just fell. That doesn't help. I need croc clips. What's this? There's a croc clip. Finally. Okay, so we're going to hook up an additional ground to the board itself. Power is off. Okay, power is on. Okay. Start. It shouldn't climb up to 12 volts. So the PWM is at 0. It's like defaulting to full throttle. And like these guys should be pulled down. We can grab like straight up the best ground possible. Literally ground directly. Then off, and then off. Oops. And we're going to stop this. Test it after you ask the... Yeah, it worked perfectly. So right now there's a stray voltage. And I don't know where that's coming from. It's weird. Very weird. Anyways, power on. That's 12 volts exactly. Okay, it powered on at 0. Oh no, wait, it's 0 because this part's not on yet, so we go start. So it's at 0. It's working perfectly. Up. So, see, low voltage again. And then if I go up, is the 3.3 volt regulator working well? Yes. 3.23 though. So on reset, stays 0. So there's 1 volt, which is not quite right. Oh, you dick. It should be 3.3, yeah? Was it not 3.3? Yeah, 3.3. I just want to be 100% here. I'm going to just make sure that the MOSFET is soldered. That is properly soldered on. Okay, on. Start. Okay, 0 volts. 1 volt. 3. 5. 7.5. 12. Time to rest on the problem. Well, this needs to be done by... Is it Tuesday today? Or Wednesday? Needs to be done by Thursday, though. Okay. Anyways, regardless, my back hurts. I need to get going. I need to get moving along. We won't let this defeat us. We'll just make another one. It's Tuesday? Okay. Still. I am so sorry. I took off my mic and I didn't realize I took off my streaming mic. So sorry for the noise. So, hang on a sec. I can't fix it in code because it's not consistently broken. But that's okay. We will, oh, what am I doing? Off. Off. I'm like beside myself right now because I guess I'm going to have to fix this, which is okay. I'll fix it. There we go. So I will fix this and then we will go from there, but could do a video on diagnostics. Yeah, maybe. But I feel like I just want to rebuild it. So anyways, it is what it is. Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you all keeping me company. And I will probably stream tomorrow morning. And if that's the case, then I will see you then. Thank you very much. Bye. Oh, let me finish the poll and poll. There we go. Have a good one, guys.